Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. Sometimes you play something and then it gets caught up in some buffering. So I was just trying to take care of that. Shalom, family. It's good to see you all. I'm so sorry we're doing this so close to my last live stream. And if you did not get to see that one, definitely get over and see the one that you missed that I had at 11 o'clock. So now I'm sure you heard about a black man in Alabama that was handcuffed, and uh, one of these demons with a badge decided to tase him while he was cuffed and bent over a vehicle. You know, all of policing is rooted in racism because it came to being during chattel slavery, and it only had one purpose, and that was to deal with the slaves. And if you notice, to this very day, they deal with us far differently from any other group that's in this country. And they don't even try to hide it. They have been very open about how different they treat us, you know. And then they got these police chiefs. They're like trained watchdogs that get in front of the camera and always try to imply that everything is fair and they're going to investigate this and they're going to investigate that. That police chief don't care about you either. All right, at the end of the day, they don't care about us either. They're just saying everything for the cameras like they always do. But this woman is a representative of all of these police departments in this country. And one thing I want us to change: stop saying we want these people fired and start saying we want them jailed. Because if you go out here and you harm anybody in the public, they would be screaming for you to go to jail. And we should be doing the same thing when it comes down to these cops getting fired. If you went out there right now and you did something to a random person out in public, you don't just get fired from your job, do you? And get to go on with life? No, you get jailed. And that's what we need to say when it comes down to these cops. Getting fired, that's not good enough. Getting put on paid vacation, because that's what paid leave is just a vacation. So getting put on vacation, that's not a punishment. None of those things are punishment. So therefore, right now to this very day, paid leave, she's on paid leave, then she's not being punished. And giving her vacation now and then firing her later on down the line. No, the things we must demand is that she gets jailed and she loses her peace license. You see how fast they were able to do that with Tyree Nichols? They didn't waste a beat. They got those peace licenses removed from those cops. They need to do the same thing with each and every one of these cops that unjustly shoot us or harm us in any kind of way. They need to take the peace license away from cops that are out here making bogus arrests. Okay, this all needs to happen. So her getting fired, because I see that all over the internet when I saw this story. Oh, they need to fire. No, they need to do a hell of a lot more than fire this cop. So let's get to it, y'all. See if I can share my screen. Hold on one second. I want to okay. Okay, here is the cop. Her name is Dana Elmer. And I don't know what's up with that 15 head she got. This cop, by far, she got a huge forehead. So, anyway, yeah, she's just a demon with a badge. That's all she is. And what she did was uncalled for. I mean, yeah, get her from, being able to patrol on the streets, but she needs to be jailed. She took a lot of pleasure in what she did to this black man. In fact, they need to go over her entire policing history. You can best believe she done did this to more than one black man. She probably got a whole history of abusing the black public there in Reform, Alabama. What a name, Reform. So anyway, usually these cops have a history of doing these things. It's just like Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin had a long history of doing wicked things to the black population there. This woman, you can best believe she does too. Okay, rarely is it a one and done. It's very rare, So no, I bet you she has done a lot of harm during her entire time of policing. And you can tell she has an absolute hatred for the black public. In dealing with black people, she goes extreme. So this is Dana Elmer. That's her name. Dana Elmer. Mhm. Yeah, no, she like I said, she's a prime example of what cops are like here in America. You know, but we got politicians and your president that think they should not have to do anything for us when all of the harm is being done to us. They take pleasure in sitting back and watching it. This is why they won't do a crime bill. They won't give you reparations. They won't do nothing about qualified immunity because they get off on this. If they give you this stuff, then they don't get to see it anymore. And they're not going to let that happen. They got to see your suffering. Our suffering makes them feel good. Thank you, Larry, for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Our suffering makes them feel good. They like seeing that. So, no, they'll do for anybody but us. See, it pains them to see any other group get tortured except for us. Now, when it comes down to us, oh no, it's pleasure. So, the video is it is just so unnecessary for what she did. Hold on one second. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, y'all. So she walks him now. I got also an article. His girlfriend was there. She was in the car. So anyway, she walks him, as you can clearly see, look like a cross a street. You know, they're in a street. Let me just start it here. Right there in front of the car. I ain't doing shit, but I got good right there. I'm not doing oh, yeah. I'm saying what you saying. Oh, yeah, oh my God. All right. So at this point, she takes the gun. He tells her right up front, I have a gun. Now, do you ever notice how they always act like every single black man or woman with a gun, it automatically must be illegal? You notice they always have that reaction? Every single one of them have this reaction. You can clearly be a legal gun carrier in this country, and I'll be damned if these cops don't walk up and act like every one of us are illegal and having a firearm. They all react the same way. The fact that they all react the same way tells you right there that this is what's taught to to police departments all throughout America, because I'll be damned if you get the same reaction. It doesn't matter what state, what cop, it does not matter. So she takes the gun out of his pocket, says, aha. Well, what the hell is aha? He told you right up front there was a gun there. So she goes, aha. And then after that proceeds to tase him. He's clearly handcuffed and he's leaned on top of this car, leaned over, and she got this in his back. Okay, so you can hear the taser going off. So let's get into some of the dialogue of what this witch said. So, they're saying a shocking video. It's not shocking to the black community. And they said a white cop laughing and using a stun gun on a black man. Now, she put this in his back. There are things that could have impacted his heart, could have easily been impacted by this whole thing. His heart could have stopped. Okay. He could have suffered kidney damage. There's a lot of things that could have happened from her putting that taser in his back. No, my fault. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You want it again? No, man. Shut the fuck up. You was big and bad. Shut your bitch ass up. Did you hear her? She said, shut the F up. And she called him a bitch ass and asked him if he wanted again. Well, again, he shouldn't have never got it in the first place. What the hell is again? So, y'all, let me put her 15 head ass up here again. Okay, let's get into this story. Let's get into it, y'all. So yeah, she laughed and did all that stuff, and it's not shocking. A lot of these cops laugh after they kill us and walk. Remember how many we saw that would kill us unarmed and walk out the courts with big smiles on their faces? All they got to do is get on the stand and say, "I feared for my life. I feared for my life." and they would get acquitted by the judge and walk out with a big old smile on their face. So this is a white police officer in Alabama, like that's real shocking, has been placed on leave after she was caught on video laughing while using a stun gun on a handcuffed black man during a traffic stop. Now, I'm going to say this again, and I've said this before. No traffic stop should end in you getting harmed or killed. None, but far too many in this country ends that way for people in our community. So the black man that you see getting tased, his name is Micah Washington. Micah Washington. Micah Washington, this should never have happened to him at all. Micah Washington should have been handled like a standard traffic stop. But you know how it is. When it's us, everybody's always suspicious. Oh, he's suspicious. No, your 15 head at looking ass is suspicious. But, oh, it was suspicious. No, you know, the problem with policing is it has never been reformed, and the reforms that they offer to do are so minimal. It does not change the way that we are treated. Okay, I want y'all to notice that it never changes. Just take notice, it never changes the way that we are treated out here in this country. We're always treated the most harshly, and they always never care. They never care about how harshly we are treated. But you got Joe Biden here that believes that he don't need to do nothing for people in our community. He don't have to do nothing for us. To hell with us. So this is Micah Washington right here, y'all. This is the one that was tased. All right. Micah Washington. So he's 34 years old. He's from Tuscaloosa. And to her cruiser and pushing against him on the hood. This happened on December the 2nd in Pickens County. WVTM 13 reported this. So she's seen holding this stun gun against his back as she goes through his pocket and tells him to stay still. And he says back to her, I ain't doing S, right? She said, and then he proceeds to say, I got a gun there. So the cop laughs, removes the firearm, and says, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For what? How do you know he's not a legal gun carrier? Then proceeds to deploy her taser as he cries out. She proceeds to tell him to shut the F up. He then cries and says, oh my God, he shouts in pain. Then she turns around and says, do you want it again? Shut your bitch ass up. This is how no cop should be out here on the streets talking to somebody like that. Okay, let's get this all straight. A cop, ladies and gentlemen, is a job of servitude. It's a job of servitude because you pay your tax money. They are supposed to serve the public. So if they do anything outside of that, then they are indeed not doing their job. Being a police officer is a job of servitude. You serve the public, plain and simple. The public pays your salary and you serve the public. So her coming out here, going all out of pocket and talking to this man like this is just beyond crazy. This is beyond crazy. So anyway, the video is 45 seconds long and it ends at that point. So you don't see anything after her tasing him on the car. So on Monday, Reform Police Chief Richard Black and Mayor Melody Davis said they were aware of the video involving a citizen's arrest that took place on Saturday. The department is in the process of turning all materials related to this arrest to the Alabama State Bureau of Investigation and has requested a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the arrest. It should be a speedy investigation. After all, when it came down to Tyree Nichols, y'all did that investigation in record speed. And being that this whole thing was on video of her tasing him handcuffed, this shouldn't be a long investigation. This cop should be jailed. In accordance to city policy, the police officer involved have been placed on administrative leave while the investigation is concluded, the statement added. Washington was charged with obstructing governmental operations, resisting arrest, marijuana possession, drug trafficking, and possessing a firearm as an ex felon. Okay, so let's say all of those things are true. It still don't justify her handcuffing him and tasing him. Okay, and how many of these charges did you make up along the way? Because I know y'all are very quick to falsify charges on a black man in this country. That's why there's exonerations going on every single day, because y'all don't hesitate. Falsifying a charge on black men is like eating apple pie to you. So on Monday night, the suspect's loved ones and community members gathered near City Hall to protest the shocking arrest and demand accountability. So she tased him in the back and she was holding it. She was just holding it there until he started crying. And Jalexis Rice, that is his girlfriend. This is Washington's girlfriend. This is what she told the crowd, according to the outlet. So she said the incident began when her boyfriend and two others were changing a car tire. When I seen it, I couldn't do nothing but cry. I couldn't do nothing but cry. This is what his girlfriend said. The police and officials referred to questions about the arrest to the 24th Judicial Circuit District Attorney, Andy Hamlin, who has not released additional information. Not only do they need to release additional information, they really need to release the full body camera video, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they need to do. We need to see the full body camera video, not just 45 seconds. And that should be released to the public. But anything less than jail for this cop, then that's not a real punishment. It's not a real punishment, y'all. Administrative leave, not a real punishment. And there should be talk of removing her peace license. And you notice we don't hear anything about that. So if they fire her, she can just cross over into another town or another county and get hired again. And we know these cops have done that. They can do the most heinous things, get fired, and get hired elsewhere. Didn't that happen in the case of Breonna Taylor? Debbie Shelby? We have seen many. Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable. But This is how policing is done in America, y'all. And it will continue to be done this way because you don't have anybody in the Biden administration that's willing to step up to the plate and help us. But they got the audacity to come out and demand our votes. But each and every day in America, the Biden administration allows policing to happen this way. In fact, all of the administrations, and this stuff didn't stop under Trump either. It was going on under Trump. In fact, Trump back then was screaming law and order, law and order. And remember, he was talking about rough them up when you put them in the police car. He was talking all that crap. But you notice now that he got his ass caught up in the system, oh, he ain't talking like that no more, is he? You don't see him in front of his crowd screaming law and order no more, do you? So this is a good example for reparations because it has been centuries of our people getting treated unjustly by the police force all across America. In all 50 states, this is the standard practice to kill us and torture us unarmed. And even if you're armed and they take the weapon away like they did, he couldn't have got that weapon anyway. He was handcuffed. She took the weapon out of his pocket and he told her it was there. So even when you are very upfront, like Philando Castile, he was very upfront with the police officer and said he had a gun and he lost his life. So it doesn't seem to matter when it comes down to us. If you tell them you got a weapon, you get killed. If you tell them you have no weapon, you still get killed. It doesn't matter. It's just like some of these people still get on videos, do this, do that, follow their commands. You can follow every command from here to there. There's people that have followed every, in fact, this guy did. Okay, this guy did too. And he still got tased. Okay. And you saw Officer Yanez was asking for ID, and we saw Philando Castile was more than willing to give his ID and tell you up front, I have a gun. I'm a gun carrier. He still died. So, compliance is a joke when it comes down to us. It doesn't matter whether you comply or not, because apparently they're going to, if they got in their minds, they're going to do something to us, they're going to do it. And those of you that keep putting these videos out talking about we need to do this and comply and that, stop wasting your time with that. That's not the problem. The problem is not us complying. The problem is racism, plain and simple. And that's the only problem it's been all along. So, y'all, I am not going to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for being here. I have another live stream coming up tomorrow in regards to our young brother in Texas that is being just completely harassed over his hair. And it doesn't seem to matter that there's a Crown Act in place in Texas. They are still harassing this young brother anyway. So make sure you're here tomorrow for that live stream. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here. Like the video, share the video, and your comments are always welcome. Shalom, family.